Hello, this presentation builds on a previous one looking at the biological population structure. And in this one, we'll focus on one type of sociocultural population structure, and that is the kind we call based on differentiation, which just means there are nominal differences without any hierarchy or ranking. And in fact, there are two types of categorizations, one that is stratified, one that is not. Here we're looking at the non-stratified differentiation categories. And if we look at all the types of sociocultural structure, most of them do imply some form of hierarchy or stratification. The exception here is the marriage and family type. That's what we'll look at. If we examine the structure of marriage in the United States from 1990 through 2010, we can start by first noticing just the total population growth during that time, rising from 180 million up to 229 million. We're talking about 18 and over, not the whole population of the United States. And we can see that a lot of that, when we break these down into the categories of never married, married, widowed, and divorced, most of that is in the never married category, where we've seen 21 million increase. When we look at the marrieds, it's gone up slightly less, about 17 million. Widowed has gone up just 1 million, and divorced has gone up 8 million. So when we look at where most of the growth is, it's in the never married category, followed by the married category, followed by divorced, and finally widowed. Now these aren't percentages, so we can't make perfect comparisons across these just looking at the raw numbers, but we can kind of get a sense of where most of the growth is. If we look at change in family types with regard to children and so forth, this table does include both numbers and percentages. In 1990, married couples with children was 37% of the population, or about a third, and by 2010 we see that's dropped to about a fifth. In 2000 it was about a fourth. Couples without children in 1990 was 39%, whereas in 2010 it was 28%. When we look at males only with children, it's increased about 0.7, whereas females only with children has decreased about 2.8%. Of course, it's worth noting here that when we're talking about family types, that this does not include single adults living alone or with unrelated people. So the definition of family itself may be called into question by some, especially as we see that there's an increasing number of households where there are single adults never married, as we saw in the previous slide. So as we stated, whether we're living in married or unmarried or widowed or divorced types of families or households, we see that this is not something that's hierarchical. One type is not better than the other. One is not more than the other, so this falls in the category of differentiation, social differentiation. We're going to turn our attention in the next presentations to social stratification and the types of population structures therein.